respect or speculation, man. An Arizona representative referred to black people as colored on the Senate floor. I'm not sure if you heard it, but I can pull it up for you.
I've heard it.
I'll pull it up again just so we get a laugh.
Mr. Chairman, though, that was unbelievably inspiring. My amendment has nothing to do with whether or not colored people or black people or anybody can serve, okay? It has nothing to do with color of your skin, any of that stuff. What we want to preserve and maintain is the fact that our military does not become a social experiment. We want the best of the best. We want to have standards that guide who's in what unit, what they do. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, the North Koreans, they are not doing this because they want the strongest military possible.
I'd like to be recognized to have the words colored people stricken from the record. I find it offensive and very inappropriate.
Is the gentlelady asking for unanimous consent to take down the words?
I am asking for unanimous consent to take down the words of referring to me or any of my colleagues as colored people.
So basically, if you're not familiar with what they were debating about, it's a defense bill, right? What the Republican, I guess, or conservative side of it is pushing for is they kind of don't want the affirmative action rules that applied, you know what I mean? Not that it wasn't called affirmative action, but it was kind of a diversity push to have certain ethnicities, you know, in certain in positions, you know what I mean, of power, which I think most organizations feel like they should do just to keep diversity. But he's trying to say that we should eliminate that. It should best of the best, your track record. This is the military. We not trying to impress nobody. This ain't no Target commercial and all that. But the big controversy came up was he used the term colored.
Right.
I was listening to the Breakfast Club. They were talking about this, and Charlemagne brought up some good points. He's like, NAACP, National Advancement of Color People. Forgot what the second A stands for. But NAACP, you know, it has the term colored people in the term. What was the other one he brought up? Oh, people of color is a term that seems to be really widely accepted. You know what I'm saying? And to him, he was like, well, why can you say people of color, but you can't say colored people? And I was like, I was kind of thinking he was being contrarian, but then that same day I heard somebody say something like, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, and I'm like, hold on now. How are we getting offended by this, right? But we do use the term. So I guess respect or speculation. Do you think that this congressman using the term colored people was wrong? And you got respect, not really respect for it, because obviously I'm not saying you agree with what necessarily he's arguing for. Or do you got a little speculation that it should be taken as offensive?
I heard it. I mean, I wasn't offended by it. I mean, he said black people, he said black people, colored people.
He said colored people first, and then I think he said colored people, then he said black people.
Yeah, but they're not the same. Like, people who are brown skinned, that's so black people, I'm black, right? Somebody who is, we'll just say Mexican or Guyanese, they have brown skin. They don't refer to them as they're called people of color. Like, so when he said black people, colored people, I didn't take the colored people as he was talking, because he already said black people. Yeah. So I took the colored people as for the people of color, or the color, everybody who has brown skin who is not African American. That's what I took that as. So, and like Charlemagne said, NAACP, like, we have to put everything in context. Like, this is just another classic case. People just hear a word. Oh, no, I don't like it. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to cape up for white people, but I can imagine that it's pretty confusing.
Like, colored people, people of color,
and now I can't say that. Yeah,
like, come on, it's like you're just doing too much.
I wouldn't have the patience to try to figure out the right thing to call you in that scenario. Now I'm not trying to say that this person's racist or not racist. I have no idea.
Right, they could be. Yeah, they may not be. But
I want to pull up the gentleman's name just so we know who we're referring to. But I want to say Eli.
He probably is a little racist.
I mean, he said, but also, I want the context. I want to know what was said. What is he responding to? Because did the person that spoke before him say people of color or use that term, and he was kind of just repeating it, or was he doing it to be a dick? I don't know. But also, I and I can't tell people what to be offended by, but I can't say you cancel this man because he used that term.
I wouldn't cancel him. No, I mean it's a term. It's just like, you know, where they want to try and get rid of handicap. I think we spoke about this before. Like that's a widely accepted term.
What would be the replacement?
I don't know. That's the same thing with this. And with Charlemagne, what are we gonna replace it with? Mm-hmm. What are we gonna place people like?
Charlemagne brought up a good point, and then people, to me, that were calling in sounded kind of silly, because he was like, so why don't we change the name of the NAACP? And then they would...
Because it's been there forever.
I'm like, how does that make sense? He's like, been there forever too. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So I was just like, maybe that is the best solution. Change the name of the NAACP. If we're going to be like, we don't like the term, because I also haven't heard someone use the term in, I don't know, forever. So it's like, it's not like that's something that we hear a lot. But
I hear it a lot. So I hear it a lot.
You colored people or people of color? People of color. But I think they're saying that people of color is acceptable, but colored people is not. And I was like, come on, that's way too close. Like
it is. And I think it may just have something. I know, like back in the day. I mean, it was, and then you colored, and so maybe that's why, you know, because it's too close to how that word was used back in the day. But I mean, like POC, people of color, it's just too close. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, you just said coloreds. That hit a little different. That hit a little different, bro.
Yeah, no.
Colored people, like I was like, okay, but colors, whoa, bro.
Yeah. So I mean that okay,
but it's too close. So I do see both sides of the coin. But I think you made a good point that we are quick to just cancel someone without getting the full context of it. Like Roseanne, that was gotten like some hot water recently because she was talking about the Holocaust.
Yeah, she.
Right, but out of context, it seems like she's a dick, right? Like she was an asshole, and she's a Jewish woman,
right?
Yeah, but then what I like is the host of that podcast came out and was like, she's being sarcastic.
Yeah, she was. But if anybody decided to just take a clip or anything like that, you would have.
But that's what happened.
Is this chick bugging?
Yeah, well, that's what happened. Congress, like, people were like, yo, she should be, like, as a Jewish woman, she should be ashamed of herself. She should be this and that. And I'm like, well, she's also a comedian. And
when I heard it, I'm like, she clearly is just joking. I mean, because there's no way you can truly believe the Holocaust did not happen.
It wasn't delivered great. It wasn't like, you know, like how you can listen to some podcast clips and they're laughing, so you know they're joking, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it wasn't delivered exactly the best.
No, I agree.
So it seemed kind of serious, but without it. But it was just like, it just was like, all right, if you hear something that offends you, download the full episode. Listen to what was said before that, right? But most people don't have time to do that, or don't care to take time to do that. So they're like, oh, word? Let me respond to this little clip that someone just put online. So it's just like, and that's what another thing, say what you will about Twitter and how shitty it is nowadays, but they fact check. You put something up, and there's like, at the bottom, they be like, this tweet is kind of is an ill representation of exactly what happened because of. And then they'll kind of give more context. They're like, other users have given us more context on this and what they were saying. So like, that's how I kind of caught on to it was her being sarcastic. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, people will just run with a short thing. So yeah, I think the conclusion here is anything short of coloreds is acceptable. I don't even like people of color. I'm not even gonna lie. I never was a fan of that term.
Yeah, I mean, call me black.
Exactly.
But again, I mean, I know why people of color is used because, I mean, everybody's not black.
Yeah.
But if you have brown skin, you know, not gonna all those brown people. So
I seen a video the other day. It was a chick bugging out in Walmart, but she kept referring to herself as I'm a brown woman. It was an Asian woman. And I've heard like the term. I listen to like Tiger Belly podcast and like is Bobby Lee's Korean. He does it with his girlfriend. I believe she's shit. I don't want to fuck it up. I want to say Filipino, but it's from the Philippines. I could be wrong though. But like I've heard them refer to them as brown Asians, and it's just like so it's like I think people do. We're not white. So it's like they don't want to be, and like you said, they don't fit in black. So it's like people of color is kind of a broad spectrum of if you feel like you've been a held down group.